All right, so welcome back to DDCTv at the table. We are having a hard time. This is the third intro? The third intro today?
The third intro.
You don't get to see the other ones if you're watching the video later, but this is the third intro.
Yeah, if you tuned in live, you could have seen some great accidents.
Yeah, if you don't get to see it, but like Caden said, I'm pulling like the ESPN announcer stuff, and I'm sitting over here pantless because mine are covered in tequila.
I really wish we could get a smell cam for you guys, so you guys would understand the agave that I'm getting at my nostril.
I'm not getting it over here, fortunately.
It smells pretty nice, honestly. I like the smell of tequila, so I can't really complain.
Oof, yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you.
Just reminds me of being drunk and sick, I feel like.
I feel like every time
like
I've had
tequila.
tequila, I've ended up throwing up the next day. There's just something about that shit that... And, you know, honestly, it's probably not the tequila. It's just whenever you start drinking tequila, it's like one shot's never enough.
Ooh, I don't know about
Neither
that
is
either.
two.
See, I just don't
Like
understand
3 or
like the
4.
even 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor, like that joke. I just drink tequila and yeah, I get drunk, but I feel good. I don't have to drink very much and
Yeah.
I'm just nice and drunk. Yes, it was. I'm glad you got to catch it,
Got
Katie.
our
A
ass.
solid 10-minute intro.
But
There's so much to keep in mind and deal with that
Yeah.
it's
And we
just
never did a fake podcast like we mentioned last week, so...
yeah, just situations led to that.
we've definitely added a few things to the setting. We talked about it earlier, but I guess we can rehamp on it. We've got a couple more lamps in here. We actually have a nice little light box set up behind us.
Courtesy of Dalton Burgess. Well done, sir.
Definitely redneck yacht club style over there.
Hey, man.
But it's worked, and hopefully it's going to give a little bit better video quality for you guys watching out there.
Yeah, we're still working on the lighting. We think we need another one. I don't know. It's coming along.
But, you know, I spent $4.50 on the clamp rig, and then the most expensive thing was actually the light bulb, that LED.
Oh, yeah.
And that was $15. So we're talking $20 for an entire box setup. And I think the lighting definitely has helped out the way we look on camera, at least from my perspective.
I mean,
so
we'll
far.
definitely improve on it too. Like David kind of mentioned before, it's going to take a while to figure out how to actually set it up how we want it to look instead of just how works best within the 30-minute span that we had to use.
Podcast 15. Check back and then see what you have to say,
Exactly.
Miss Katie Lynn. Wait till we got we got some plans, okay? There's a lot of stuff going on in the background for us that we don't even necessarily need to talk about
Dalton's
right now.
going to start editing some vlog footage.
Very true.
Yeah,
So be on the lookout for some vlogs.
It'll be good. Hey, thank you, Katie. We think the lighting looks better, and we still think, again, one more light box. I don't know if you can see my hand, but it's over in this direction. I think it will really, really help. Freaks me out because of the red stream health, but I think we should just continue. Sorry to break up the flow.
Yeah, we might as well.
We've kind of been talking about it this week. We've been, for the last couple of weeks, been talking about what's your favorite, kind of just to help you guys figure out who we are a little bit. Yeah, exactly, get to know us. So this week we were thinking about playing a little game. We all have about 5 what's your favorite questions prepared.
I'll come up with some.
We all have 5. Yeah, we all have those.
And one of ours is going to get taken by someone else.
So pretty much the way it's going to work is one of us is going to ask what's your favorite, and we have about 15 seconds to answer. We're going to go around in a little triangle. I would say circle, but there's 3 of us, so we're a little trifecta, rolling.
Still need the soundboard, man.
Perfect
Perfect for something like this.
Oh, most definitely. I can't wait till we actually get a sound technician on here. I'm right there with you, Dave.
Dude, it's so disappointed.
There's just so much. Man, if you've never tried to do something like this, you just have no idea, and understandably, because we didn't either, which is why there's so many issues. It's just really hard to know what's going to go wrong, and it feels like every week it's a new issue that presents itself, and like right now our internet connection seems to be causing issues
with the stream.
Which is kind of odd, because I know we're plugged in straight Ethernet.
Yeah, but we're Etherneted into an extender.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be, it doesn't make any sense. So, we should probably just... The thing is, the reason it's bothering me is because, last week, if you tuned in, you noticed that you didn't get to see Dalton vomit because of the buffering, which is a huge issue right now.
Well, but one thing that I'm hoping is going to be a little bit better for you guys this week is actually we are recording this separately. So what we've been doing for our last 4 streams is really just posting the live stream as soon as it gets done. Post straight to YouTube, and you guys actually watch our live stream content. Hopefully, with us recording this separately into a separate folder, that's where I'll do the editing on it to cut out that first 10 minutes, because I'm sure no one wants to see.
So we can do that on YouTube.
3 intros. No, absolutely. But hopefully the quality of it's going to be just a little bit better for you guys. I'm so laggy. Just get a straight recording instead of
exactly.
a streamed
recording.
recording.
If it's just recording straight to your computer, then we really don't have to worry about that. And that would be very fortunate in an instance like that where you're vomiting on camera.
Exactly. I really wish we could have seen that, because the noise alone, these microphones picked it up great. I could hear it hitting the bottom of that trash can. Like a cool August morning rain.
Oh man.
It was definitely popping on that. Even me myself, I was disappointed that I couldn't see it. Dave's looked just straight disappointment right now.
I'm very, very distraught because the live aspect is important, and I don't want to turn people off of watching us live by having a really laggy ass video. So just know that that's clearly a concern.
50-foot Ethernet cable.
We're not even joking. Gonna plug this bitch all the way back in my room, straight into the modem to fix this issue. But
having it taped up against.
And I don't want to just keep pounding on that. I'm gonna try to ignore it. It's just like a big ass red
suck
circle.
Too, like you said, if it's just this is what it actually records. It's like the buffering,
right?
And then we lose the entire podcast.
It should.
I don't know. Let's move on into like an actual topic.
Getting into the game.
I'll
start off with
no, that's I'm just.
These are all going to be. I'm trying to make these to where they're not just what's your favorite color. What type of season do you like? So my first question for you guys is: whitey tighties, boxer briefs, or boxers? What do you guys prefer?
Boxers.
Boxers. I think I like boxer briefs. Or just briefs, honestly. I'm
definitely there with you with either the boxer briefs or briefs. I like a little bit more tightness. The loose flow of a boxer kind of, especially when it bunches up when you're wearing pants.
That's my main thing too.
Whenever I get up from taking a shit and I actually have to push my underwear back down, I hate that. It really bothers me. So I think I'm more of a boxer brief type of guy.
I've got all 3. I've
so
got all 3. Now, so I can dig them.
No, most definitely.
We have a valid opinion.
Now let me ask you this: how do you feel about like sliders or like very like tight athletic underwear?
I have some of those, and sometimes they're nice, but for the most part, they're just like too restricting.
Most definitely.
And they're straight up not good for you. They will lower your sperm count. Today you learned, if you didn't know.
I liked them for sports, though.
Well, yeah, because it holds it all. Just one more time.
Right there.
But it holds it all nice and tight, which is because when you're running, I mean, it's just like with girls, why they wear sports bras.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no bouncing around.
No added distraction.
It doesn't feel comfortable. Yeah, it's not a nice feeling.
No, I can totally understand that. I mean, I think I was actually watching a golf interview one time. And I think it was... John Daly.
Yeah.
You guys know John Daly? Wears bigger dude, smokes cigars, wears the crazy pants. He was talking about his Johnson getting in the way of his golf swing, and then there was a lady coming on. She goes, I hear men all the time complaining about their dicks getting in the way of something. She goes, you don't know anything getting in the way of something until you got a pair of double D's sitting on your chest. You want to talk about something getting in the way, boobs are definitely 2 times more.
I can't imagine going downstairs. That sounds horrible. Because
not being able to see your feet or the steps.
Well, I literally you'll see girls hold them because I'm sure that's not comfortable.
Yeah.
Like the literal. Sorry about that. Wow. The literal drop, in Bang. I don't know. So this is what the podcast is about: is tits and dicks. That's what we're here to tell you about, folks.
Tits and leaders.
That's what it's been so far.
Tits and dicks. That's all we're about here.
So moving around the circle, going counterclockwise. Cade, what you got for us?
I'm gonna hit y'all with what is your favorite snack?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to go with.
Favorite munchie, favorite thing, just to grab a quick chirp real quick.
Honestly, it's gonna have to be the hot and spicy Cheez-Its. Every time I buy a box of hot and spicy Cheez-Its, I literally can eat the entire box.
You're like the only one that gets Cheez-Its.
Sea salt and vinegar chips.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Those are my shit.
Yeah, those are so addicting
like,
too.
I can eat a bag and then be like, fuck, I wish I had another bag.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like, fuck, I wish I had another bag.
Yeah, I love sea salt and vinegar. I love jalapeno chips, but I think Flamin' Hot Cheetos are like my go-to.
I knew
Flamin'
Hot.
Yeah.
That's always
See, what gets me with the Flamin' Hot is they just
so
get a little
good.
bit too much vinegar flavor.
Flamin' Hots?
Oh yeah.
Vinegar flavor?
Yeah, I feel like they have like the hot sauce behind. Like hot sauce most times is a vinegar based product. I feel like the Flamin' Hots have like a really strong vinegar flavor at the end of them.
I don't get that.
I don't catch
That
that.
gets me on.
I feel like it's just like Cheetos, but hot.
Is that sarcastic, Miss Katie Lynn, with the hashtag relatable content?
Talking about the boobs,
I mean, I'm sure she can relate. She's a woman herself. I mean, I'm glad.
Herself. What are you saying here? We're all women here, you know. It's just us girls.
Not what I was trying
She's
to
a
say with
woman
that. But if that's the way you want to look at it.
catch what you were going with. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh, my Lord. All right, moving back around the circle. It's David's turn to ask some questions. Where are we going with this?
What's your favorite smell?
Ooh.
That's actually a really good question.
So like
That's
this
how you
just,
learn a lot about people
like
right
the
here, folks.
Smell evokes like a lot of
Emotion,
like,
nostalgia, yeah, dude.
memory.
You can bring up a lot.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite smell?
I'd honestly say one of my favorite smells of all time. And it's odd because I can actually get it in Tulsa, which I never thought I'd be able to do, was just the smell of like a briny, like water, like a salty water smell. And the only times I ever also get that is whenever I'm riding Riverside, like right along the river, with all the sand that we have down there on the sandbars. You kind of get, well, I wouldn't even, definitely, I mean, I understand where you're coming at, 'cause it can be a little dirty, but it's almost like a briny smell comes through your nostrils, and it's just such a clean, and it also reminds me of just like a really like perfect day, you know, 74 degrees, kind of sunny.
Yeah, like
morning starts off a little bit overcast, but in the middle of the day comes into a nice sun, and it's just that briny, salty flavor over your face and over your nostrils, and it's just, I don't know, it puts me at peace almost.
I don't even know if I have a favorite
That's good.
smell.
Mine
I
is
like perfume.
I like girls.
Yeah.
Girls make me happy.
Are you more like do you like a rose petal smell?
I
like a
couldn't
more
tell
floral?
you, dude. All
Now you
perfume.
understand why he said she's a woman herself.
I just like the smell of perfume.
You know, I do get into some of the more intricate details of
Womanhood, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say womanhood, but like I enjoy like good like body products. Every once in a while I'll do like a facial mask, just to get my skin just nice back up to like a good
You
level.
do that.
He does do that.
I like
Take
taking
a bath.
baths every
Took a
once
bath
in a
last
while.
night.
With a seaweed.
I do like soaking in
The
a seaweed
seaweed
bath. It's really
bath and-
hydrating. Makes my skin like super moisturized afterwards. I don't like having dry, scaly skin.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no one's saying anything.
Nothing wrong.
Dave, we know Caden's favorite smell is just perfume in general. Whether it be that crazy old lady that you can smell when she walks in the restaurant and you're sitting in the back corner, or
Reminds me of Grandma.
Yeah, exactly.
Reminds me of my grandma's house.
Dave, what's your favorite smell?
I think honestly, one of my favorite smell is like the smell of like a blacktop parking lot after it rains.
No, I
Like,
can understand.
I don't know
that.
if you know like what that smells
I don't
like,
think I
but
do.
like it smells good. Like it smells like good, and it has its own smell. Like if you're in a parking lot right after it just rained, I can't even describe it. I don't know why, and I don't get it so much here. But before I moved, I feel like all the time in California when it would rain, it just parking lots. That's a weird thing to say. After a rain, would have like a certain smell, like the wet
I like the way rain
asphalt,
smells for sure.
and it just it's not even clean. It's like almost not a dirty smell, but it just smells like paint. I don't know. It's weird, but it just smells good. Like I would eat a lollipop like that tasted like the smell does.
Oh, okay. That's
Because it doesn't smell like floor or something.
That's what I
but
get
it,
the taste of.
I don't know. I would totally eat a blacktop after the rain sucker straight
okay.
up.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Bruh.
That's sick as hell, dude.
All right. My next question.
Jesus Christ.
Dave over here pouring straight into the water. I love it.
I'm sad because you saw the first shot. Like, that was number 1. This is number 2.
And I think I have an idea what Dave's going to answer on this one, so it's kind of a loaded question. What do you guys prefer? Super clean shaven or having a little bit of hair?
Well, a little bit of hair. You know, that's kind of what I'm going to go with. Just a little bit of hair.
I mean, just because of the fact I can't grow anything, I'd just rather be clean shaven.
Beard, hands down. I mean,
if I could grow a beard, I'd probably like a beard.
I look older. I feel like I feel more manly, I guess. Manly, whatever that means. I don't know. Plus, I just...
Being a girl yourself.
Being a lady, I really like to kind of avoid the... No, just with, like, my job especially, and I deal with, like, almost all of our clients are, like, older people, so I'd be able to immediately not give off the fact that I'm only 21 and, like, half their age. It just it makes it much more easy to command the respect and that expert position, which I just kind of need because they need to fucking trust what I'm saying and like believe that I know my shit. And so I don't know, just when you're dealing with like a 50-year-old attorney, it's really hard for him to be like, oh, this 21-year-old who I'm paying thousands of dollars to do this shit, and I'm like, fuck. So the beard just helps hide it to where I feel like it just look like I'm 26 or something, and it just seems more understandable.
I mean, I can totally understand that. See, I'm always torn on this because I'm kind of in the same boat.
Plus, I look goddamn handsome.
I'm kind of in the same boat that Dave is. I feel as though when I have a little bit of hair, when I'm in the same boat as Dave and in the same boat as Caden, so I don't grow a whole lot of facial hair. I have a lot of Indian in me. So it's really kind of a thinner mustache and not much at the chin strap. But at the same time, I kind of like the little bit of stubble.
Yeah.
Without it being just super... Because when I shave, like clean shaven, go 2 sides on the razor, up and down, and it's super smooth, I feel like I look like a 16-year-old boy. Like if I went to go see a rated R movie, I'd be getting ID'd. Which is really embarrassing because I'm 21 now and I don't want that. You know what I mean? I manage a restaurant. I like to have the... Kind of like Dave says when I'm talking to a 65-year-old woman about something, I don't want her to think, I need to talk to the other guy.
Where's the manager?
Yeah, exactly. I'm in a collared shirt with a gold name tag on. And I'm just like, speaking, ma'am, what can I do for you?
Hello.
But at the same time...
1 second. Walks around the corner and
comes back over.
Hi, I'm the manager. What can I help you with?
How's it going? But at the same time, I think I'm going to end up having to go with clean shaven, just because it's baby smooth, especially with a good aftershave afterwards. You get no redness. It's just nice all the way through, and I love it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I literally look like a child. Like, I look baby-faced as hell without a beard.
Yeah, your fucking driver's license picture.
I look like a baby. I mean, I don't even get ID'd at bars most of the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, almost never. And I buy tobacco products.
You got ID today.
I did. That guy was also weird, and you got your receipt checked at Walmart.
Because I was trying to look like walk out with a bunch of shit I didn't pay for.
Not bagged, yeah. Like, what dumbass would do that, though?
Exactly. Like, that's why I didn't care, because I knew I wasn't doing anything
half a cart with half a cart full of unbagged items.
She said, "Excuse me, sir.
Can I see
were you planning on paying for those dog food?" Or that's what she said, "Did you pay for the dog food underneath?" And that's all she asked, and I was like, "Oh no, this is all his stuff, obviously." But I was just surprised that that's like, she's like, "Oh, I think you forgot this," you know, and not everything that's sitting in the cart.
Unbagged.
Yeah.
See, that's like one of the greatest feelings ever, though, when you be like, "Well, actually, oh, so sorry to be bothering you today."
Well, but it wasn't paid for.
I didn't pay for it. That was the thing.
Oh.
He wasn't trying to walk out.
Yeah, I had went to a I guess we're going to get into this now.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I wasn't there.
I went into a self-checkout aisle. You know, we got the one shopping cart. We're at Walmart. I'll give you the whole thing. And, yeah, so basically we find everything.
We like to hold hands, too, while we do it.
But we're going to checkout, and everything's taken at this point. But I noticed someone's just about to leave a self-checkout, and David's like, well, this person's just about to leave a not self-checkout, someone with an assistant or whatever you want to call them, cashier. Mm-hmm. And so I went ahead and went to the self-checkout, and then finished with my stuff. And then,
granted, the lady that was in front of me was paying when Caden started doing his groceries. And she did not finish paying until after Caden had already walked over to me with his groceries.
Is this the Walmart right down the street?
Yes.
Exactly.
Now,
Okay.
that was because she was an 80-year-old, I don't know if 80, she was old as balls, paying with a check.
Oh, God.
Who the fuck pays with a check into
Did it have the other
2007?
machine where it goes,
Yes, exactly. They had to, like, scan the check right there, and it's just like, damn it, lady, go get a fucking debit card, like, so you don't have to balance your checkbook, and you can pull up a fucking screen on your computer.
The times.
Reminds me of that scene from...
I was just standing there like,
Reminds
Are
me of
you
one of
fucking
the
kidding
first
me?
scenes from The Big Lebowski whenever he's checking out and he's getting some heavy cream. And the heavy cream is 87 cents. And he writes a check for 87 cents for this heavy cream. And the cashier just looks at him like... it's fantastic. I roll over cracking up every time.
I've only seen that once.
Oh,
it's a
man.
good movie. We should stream us watching The Big Lebowski with our commentary. Almost like a director's cut of The Big Lebowski, but the retard cut
like
of
a reaction video almost.
Yeah.
where we just drink White Russians the whole time.
Oh my God, I'd totally be in.
Jesus Christ.
Dave,
Is
do
there
I need to
something in
get
that
you a
one?
bib?
Oh my god.
There was like a baby amount.
I
It's
feel
like
like-
we gotta watch
We
this
need to
after
keep a
this
counter
podcast.
now at the top of the
yeah,
screen.
get a little
If
counter.
you guys actually care about our stream, care about the podcast, buy us a bib for Dave to put on the table so he can stop spilling shit on the tapestry. Yeah, you know, killing it over here.
You fucking losers. I almost said a word that's not good.
Um,
I almost said a bad word.
Kate, I think you're up. What's the next question?
Oh
for you?
shit. Okay.
No, I want to move into the streaming and the leaks right now. That's what I
Okay,
want to get
that's
into.
Streaming leaks, all right.
We're streaming leaks over here. Boys, check us out.
So Dave, bring us in. What are we
Yeah,
swinging?
where do you want to start?
All right, so just I guess Caden had a conversation earlier today with one of our friends, kind of about whether it's like getting a leak, is all right. Not really all right. I don't know. I feel like you should explain it because
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
we're not talking shit here. It just brought up
Yeah.
an interesting discussion for us, and so his point of view was interesting.
Yeah,
Because I
basically
kind of
what
agree
had
with
happened was an album that was supposed to be coming out tomorrow, or I guess, was it March 14th? Today's March 13th. So the album leaked today. I downloaded it, sent it to a group text I'm in with a few friends, and one of the friends was like, damn, it's not out. Because I actually thought it was out. That's what I saw. I thought it was released. And so, yeah, one of my friends was like, damn, it's not on iTunes. Like, hey, I hate leaks is what he said. And I was like, and I just asked, why do you hate leaks? And then he went on to say, you're basically pulling money out of the artist's pockets. And that may be true, like that, but I was more focused on like thought it was like I was trying to, I guess, like literally take money from him making this album, when I was kind of getting at I'm more so taking money out of a label's pocket, if anything. And even if
they're signed to a label, yes.
And yeah, which who knows that? I mean, I don't know for this particular artist we're talking about, but and then so yeah, we kind of went on and on about how I was saying that there are more ways to support an artist than to just, because what he was saying, he was going to wait till it dropped on Spotify or iTunes or Apple Music, whatever he was using, a streaming service. So and I was like, well, that really isn't much of a difference than just downloading a leak. Granted that the artists do receive money for however many streams they get, but I was just kind of getting at he's not going to listen to it 1,000 times on Spotify.
Right.
But
go ahead.
as you were saying, no, go.
So just for a little bit of, we kind of talked about it briefly and then cut it so that we could talk about it here. I looked it up, and according to Spotify, the average payout per stream is 0.006 cents to 0.008 cents. So going on the low end there, that means for every 100 listens, they get 6 cents.
Mm-hmm.
So for every 1,000 listens, they get 60 cents.
Yeah.
So for someone who has 200,000 listens, Playboy Cardi is who we used.
Mm-hmm.
He had his most played song
On Spotify.
He blew up on SoundCloud, but this is his Spotify listens. His most played song had 229 some odd thousand. So just going off 229,000, that's like $1,200, give or take $50. Mm-hmm. So in the grand scheme of things, no, you're really not like taking money from them. Yeah. But I'm of the opinion that it's almost the same thing as voting.
Very valid, yeah.
It's the same thing as voting for me. Personal responsibility. By saying my vote doesn't matter, you make it not matter. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, okay, maybe you are, if you listen to the whole album and say it's 12 songs, that's 12 listens, and you've given them a fraction of a cent, literally a half a cent. Mm-hmm. But it's the thing that if everybody has that attitude, that's how, so you by yourself are not taking...
But then you're almost just...
Listen, I just want to say right now, I'm not opposed to leaks, because I also download them myself. I like them. It's getting the music when you want it makes sense to me.
Yeah, as a consumer.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I'm also just saying that if you want to support the artist, really the fair thing to do, even though you're not giving them much, you're helping. And again, very, very marginally. I just want to clarify. I understand that fractions of a cent are not shit, but it adds up. Yeah. And so the drop in the bucket with drops in the bucket is how you get the bucket full. That's just kind of where I was at.
Here's my outlook on it. I am all for leaks, and this is why.
I'm all for it.
Well, I feel like this is like a presidential race now.
This is why. If I listen,
I love the leaks. I don't stream whatsoever.
No. And that's.
I only listen to pre-approved Spotify music.
That's opposite of what my argument's going to be on this.
Sorry.
If I download a leak and I enjoy something, me being a Spotify premium user, I'm definitely going to save that album onto my Spotify account and listen to it in the future.
Right.
Yes, I might not have that original listen, but a lot of times the reason I'm downloading a link is so I can have a hard copy of the actual album, which I'm never going to be able to have through Spotify Premium.
Link. You don't get hard. It's not a hard copy.
No.
Well, for Dalton it will be.
It will be. I'm
Dalton burns it onto a CD and then he'll listen to it in his car.
Because I don't have an aux cord in my car yet. I still run CDs. I have probably 85 CDs.
He does. He's got honestly a stacked CD collection.
But the way I look at it is kind of the same way I think Caden looks at it. For me, a lot of these artists, especially SoundCloud artists as it is, they're going to be making their money through merchandise and touring. Mm-hmm. So the exposure alone, no matter where they're getting it from, is way more profitable than the $1,200 they're going to make off Spotify. Yes, they're going to make $1,200 off Spotify, which can help into a lot of things, but they're going to be making more if they sold an extra 300 tickets at their concert.
Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
Than if they had the 200,000 streams.
I agree there, but that argument I think is only valid, in my opinion, if you actually buy their merchandise or see them in a show. Which, like in Caden with that album, with the artist in question that brought this whole up, he bought his EP. So it's like...
Smino.
So, I think that is a valid argument. If you actually, and again, I don't think you're a bad person or you're really stealing from the artist for downloading a leak. Yeah. I do it too. I think it's about personal responsibility and saying, it's just, the 5 cents. But again, to me, it's if everyone does that, then also they don't make any money.
Discussion on, I guess, what you call rap Twitter too, is that fans bitch about their favorite artists, not being able to yada yada when it's these big artists, like Drake or whoever, cater to people that actually pay for music, and that's why they're able to do things. I mean, obviously Drake's a pretty huge example. He's already big as is, but just artists that cater to people, or not people, but a demographic that do pay for music or streaming services.
It's like we compared. It's like we compared earlier, and obviously you guys weren't part of this conversation. But like you said, got people like Drake. I'm talking Katy Perry, Beyonce. Bruno Mars. Those people who put things on Spotify and they're getting 50 million to 60 million views per song, it is very profitable for them to not have leaks to where those extra views, which it's not in the terms of 100,000 people download this leak.
But that's the thing too about those artists.
I just want to step in really quick, not to interrupt, but if you get 50 million plays on a song, that's $300K.
Yeah, I was going to say, those artists don't even depend on that kind of stuff either at that point.
They absolutely, dude, no label is balking at $300,000. Well, they are like, yes, please, and thank you.
I don't know about that, dude, because that's why they're streaming exclusives now.
Obviously they want more, but everybody wants more. Yeah. But I'm just saying the reason that they do put it on every avenue they can is because I don't know about you, and I know Drake's not like, oh, 300 grand, what a payday. But that's one song with 50 million plays, and how many? I mean, I don't.
When you
care
have an entire album and one song off the album got
that's how his
300 grand
views went double platinum in like a week or something.
You get an album that gets total, 200 million plays.
Because
we're talking 2
million plays.
2 million, yeah. We're talking about millions of dollars. So yeah, it's like Spotify doesn't pay shit in the scheme of things, but the thing is, it's a business, so like it makes sense for them like to pay people, but like they also have to make money, you know what I mean? Because they have to set up all the infrastructure for us to be able to pull up our phones and listen to music anywhere in the world
I totally
at any point.
That.
Well, not only the thing is,
and that's what I was
artists bitching about
too,
it.
Well,
you agree to put your music on there.
And that's what I was kind of getting
I don't
at
think
too.
you have a leg to stand on.
Just using Spotify, you're more so supporting Spotify than you are the artist.
And then the label.
And that's why I was saying that streaming versus leaks isn't the greatest
Really,
argument.
the best argument is if you buy the album.
Yeah, exactly. If
in
you
which
support
case,
the artist directly, like Rock Marciano just put out an amazing album, and he put it on his website a week early for $20, and I went and bought that a week early. I mean, he's like he released it a week early. It was before it was supposed to be on like streaming services and stuff. So I went and did that, and like I had no problem doing something
and
like
that's
that.
a way I think you can. And that's the unfortunate part about the world today is because music is so easily accessible and there's so much. Why would you pay for it
definitely.
Unless you provide things like that, like early access to it or benefits to buying it?
That's why a lot of artists are like going to like cassettes and vinyl too now, so people buy their shit.
No, most definitely,
which is cool.
No, I agree too.
We've all bought vinyls because they're cool.
Well, that's the thing about buying digital music, though. I like having a hard copy if I'm going to pay for something.
That's the unfortunate part about Spotify is even the music I have downloaded. If I stop paying for Spotify, it's gone. I don't own that music. That's the scary thing too, which brings up a whole nother discussion. Is think about the world in 50 years. Is anybody going to own anything? Think about when movies and video games are to that point. When you don't own anything, you just own access to it.
I think this brings back to like an original argument of where hard copy... and
that's where Donald Trump is really terrifying. I mean, just not him in and of itself, but what that speaks into the future. Like, because he can't just make it like that, but he can set the stage for the next person, and then the next person, and then we're suddenly at some like 1984 George Orwellian shit that's like, oh god,
Black Mirror.
Yeah, no, seriously. And the thing is, man, the reason that show is so successful, I think, is because everybody can look at it and go,
relate.
That's not that far off.
No, most definitely. I can definitely
like
understand
the very first episode with the pig, where he has to have sex with a pig. That's not that far off from like the realm of possibility.
Not even that. And then episode 3 where they live in like pretty much an entire virtual world.
Where they literally ride bicycles to get points, and they spend their points just to live, and they have to pay to not see advertisements.
That's where you don't own anything.
The thing that was most evocative to me and like really stood out to me is the scene in that episode. If you haven't seen Black Mirror, it's a great show. I had to stop watching it because it's just too like morbid.
You still watch it?
No, I haven't. I had to stop because it just like depressed me. Because I'm a pretty cynical person, and so I watch it and I'm just like, oh my god, this is terrifying. I don't need these. It's just the writing's really well done.
Yeah, no, it's a great show.
There's a scene in it where he's in his little box of a room. Excuse me. He's in his little box of a room and he's watching TV or something. And he just keeps getting ads for porn, basically. He just keeps getting ads for it. And he has to pay to not see the ads. And finally he just gets to the point where he just masturbates to make the ads go away. But he has to pay to see what the ad was talking about. So it's just like, and I can see how you're just like, he was like, it showed the before and after. It obviously didn't show the act, but the before and after, he was literally just as depressed. Like his decision to masturbate was like a depressed, like giving up. Like I have to do this because then they'll stop showing me the ad for a while. And that's just like
awful,
horrifying.
It's
now I don't think that will happen in our lifetime, but I could see a version of it happening in our lifetime.
Well, I mean,
but it's just like a pointless,
we're already seeing with the virtual reality that's going on right now. I mean, they're getting more and more advanced in the ways that we can literally put a screen in front of our eyeballs and feel something and see something as if we're actually there.
And that's the hard thing for me, is because I do think that the possibilities that brings about are so incredible. And the things that we can, I mean, I even picture it just from like an office perspective, where if I could put on a pair of glasses with a rotating chair and have a virtual space where I could pull down screens and upload them and have my virtual keyboard and spin around, and I've got 80 screens around me and I can pull stuff, because I've seen like a obviously most of it was CGI, but it was like basically like a thought for what somebody wants to do with virtual reality and put it into not just video games, but like practical use. So sitting at your desk, instead of just being confined to your one screen, everything around you can be your screens you need to look at. So you can have email over here and your whatever over here and over here, and you can just pull things in, expand them how you need them.
Some Iron Man shit.
Exactly like Iron Man.
Definitely.
Exactly like that. And to me, like, that's incredible, because I know for me that would be just so beneficial. But it's the things that can come with it, and just as humans, everybody. Honestly, just humanity at its core, I think there's just people power hungry.
Yeah,
people can't avoid it. Well, and so things like that will always be taken advantage of.
The only thing that worries me with that is that,
I'm sorry about this, but I need more water.
It gets me into, I think about a Wall-E setting.
We need to get water bottles.
To where we are so consumed in technology.
Tell me if you can see it on here.
We're so consumed with technology taking over things and like making things easier for us. That I can imagine, if you've seen the movie Wall-E, it's just the way the human race has evolved. It's just a bunch of extremely obese people sitting in chairs that pretty much ride them through everything, and they don't need to use their hands or feet to actually do anything in life, because it's already taken care of for them at the push of a button.
Well, I think they use their hands to like move the cart.
Little Stephen Hawking.
Fingers.
Little Stephen Hawking's movements over here. I mean that's honestly how it is.
No, that's true, man.
That one guy falls out of his chair and he can't get back in.
They have robots to pick them up.
Exactly.
And I don't know if you can hear me. If not,
they have robots to pick them up. That's what David said.
It's definitely crazy to think that's honestly the way we're moving as a country and as a world.
Well, just playing into that.
Yes, sir.
I'll sit down before I continue so you can actually hear what I have to say. Things like that, man, are why I think as humans we need to start looking at the validity of a basic income. Because, I mean, Amazon, I don't know if anybody's heard about Amazon Go. Essentially, it's an Amazon grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
With the idea that...
Drop shipping or something?
No, it's not drop shipping. It's literally like a regular grocery store, but they would have maybe 2 employees. All of it's stocked automatically. There's no checkout lines. You literally walk in and everything you pick up is added to your Amazon cart. And when you walk out the doors, it charges everything you've picked up to your Amazon account, and just bam, like that.
Shit.
So you don't wait in line. There's none of that. And they don't have to pay employees.
Yeah.
But when we get to the point where there's going to be half the population who we're already getting there with massive unemployment rates, but there's just literally not jobs for them. What do those people do? Like, me as a human, I don't think we just let them die.
No,
like, that's retarded to me.
Not.
That's unbelievably like wrong to even, if you can be like, well, they need to learn some
There's programs for them.
Well, the programs that we need to set up are something like what Sweden just recently implemented. They put 1,000 people on a basic income, which means that every month, no matter what, they don't have to be finding a job. They don't have to do any of that. They get a certain set amount of money, which is basically what the government has deemed the basic amount required to live. So they get enough for rent, food, utilities, just what you would need to live.
Exactly.
Nothing extra, but what you need to live at the cost of living in their country. And now there's no telling how that's gone, because they just recently implemented like 3 months ago. But that also just, the Nordic countries, they've just, Europe in general, I think, as a whole, Western Europe kind of just really has got the right idea. And the people understand that, like, as eventually when you go to McDonald's, there's not going to be a cashier. You don't need someone to flip burgers, to be honest. Right now we do. But in 20 years, a robot can flip a burger for a set amount of time, no problems. And a robot, you don't even need a robot. They already have them at some stores where you can walk in and they have a little screen for you to order.
Yeah.
You don't need employees there. And you don't need employees to stock. You don't need those employees. You need one engineer sitting in the back where if a robot breaks down, he can go repair them. And so it's only the more educated people that have jobs. And what does everybody else do? Starve? Me, and this is where my taxes. I'm okay with my taxes going to help those people.
Yeah,
because what does a 65-year-old man who's worked in the coal industry his entire life when the plant gets shut down do? He doesn't have time to go back to school.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time. Do we let him die? Just not. In my opinion, I think if you say yes or he should figure it out, you're a piece of shit. Yeah. I really do think you're a piece of shit.
Well, it's not only that.
You're selfish.
You got to look at the economy in the standpoint as if we are. I definitely agree with you that eventually we're going to the point where robots are running a lot of things that we're doing.
Pretty much everything but the most advanced jobs.
But if you look at the point where people don't have jobs, if they're not spending money, it does not matter that we have robots doing it for cheaper labor. If there's no money to be made, it will still die. Yeah. People have to have money to spend. And if people aren't spending money, we're not growing as an economy.
Thank you.
That's why everyone talks about inflation rates. And I definitely understand that we're not trying to inflate our money as much as we have in the past. But when it gets to the point where people don't have money, you have to spend money to make money.
If you own a restaurant,
no one is spending money. Exactly. If I run a restaurant and they pay me $18 an hour to run a restaurant and manage these robots, and the robots cost me, we'll say, $1,000 a month in upkeep,
dude,
and I have a $2,000 electrical bill.
In my opinion, even cutting out all that complications, if half the population does not have a job and is not receiving money, and that means that half of the population is not coming into your restaurant, which means that your restaurant is going to go out of business
within 6 months,
and then now that's another person, another group of people out of a job. People don't understand that the economy only works through the transfer of money. And the reason the Great Depression happened is because nobody had money to spend.
Most definitely.
And it was FDR honestly, FDR's
the greatest president.
I think he definitely had some good shit, but 4 terms is kind of bullshit. 4 terms is kind of bullshit. I don't know. He somehow managed to do 4 terms as the president. Now, he didn't do 4 full terms. He was a consecutive. He was a vice president, and...
Are you sure?
FDR did 4 terms. Not 4 full terms, but he did 4 terms.
I'm pretty sure he did 4 full terms.
Maybe he did, but he did he was vice president, and whoever... I can't remember who... I think it was Hoover.
He was not vice president for Hoover.
Not Hoover. Whoever... He was a vice president.
Herbert Hoover was the president before FDR, and then FDR became... Because FDR is the most liberal president we've probably had.
Right. Whoever he was vice president for, though, the president died in office, and so he became president.
No.
And yes, that's how he did his first term, or maybe his 3rd term. I just know one of his terms was as a result of a death as the president, and then his second office he won, and then he won again. I'm not really sure how the 4th term came about, but he did have 4 terms in office. But I will say that FDR with the WPA or the Public Works, PWA, I think it's WPA. Works Public? I don't remember. But basically where they built like gymnasiums and things like that in towns, basically to build up the town infrastructure, and he just created jobs out of nothing. But he did so by improving little towns and cities across the nation.
Okay,
I will
say this right now. FDR was never vice president of the United States of America.
But he did serve 4 terms, correct?
He served 4 terms.
Okay.
Before 1932, he was the governor of New York. He succeeded Herbert Hoover and was preceded by Harry S. Truman.
So Herbert Hoover, I'm not completely retarded. I know some American history.
Hoover, the problem with Herbert Hoover's campaign was that it was just full of as they would say, friends cabinet. So pretty much all of his buddies from his town hall that he wanted to get good jobs, he allowed them to have offices in his cabinet. So that was the Secretary of State, the Treasurer. Everyone had control of the United States money, and pretty much what they did was a shitty job. FDR was elected in 1933 and served all the way till 1947.
If he finished out his 4th term as a full term, he He was elected, 48. He was elected on his 4th term in 1944. Sorry, not trying to interrupt. Just
not saying that everything FDR did was great.
No, he did some incredible things for this country. He turned it around, man.
Being in a war helps out your country a lot and helps out all the money, especially at the time the way it
Hence the first Desert Storm and the first Gulf War. George W. Bush. I'm really not a
George H.W.
Yes. No, I'm sorry, but George W. Bush did the same thing with Saddam Hussein and their weapons of mass destruction.
Not getting
the second Gulf War, excuse me. But yeah, I'm not even a liberal. I'm just middle of the line, left leaning.
Middle of the line, left leaning.
But I think to come back to what we were all saying, that to have an economy that's going to be successful, whether it's Democratic or Republican or Libertarian or Socialist, you have to have money moving and transferring throughout the entire economy.
I didn't actually even know that.
What?
I honestly thought that the law... I didn't realize that up to FDR, there was no law against presidents serving more than 2 consecutive terms.
After FDR,
George Washington voluntarily stepped down after 2 terms, and presidents prior to him either followed his example or were unsuccessful in achieving a 3rd term.
Think about Theodore Roosevelt.
And I didn't know that.
With the Bull Moose Party.
Teddy.
He ran for a 3rd term.
I wasn't a big fan of Teddy.
Wasn't successful. That's why we actually got Herbert Hoover in office.
Shout out.
Anyway, Teddy still kind of had some good shit going on there. The man was a boss.
Most definitely.
I'm just saying, the dude led cavalry in a war that should not have had cavalry. So like, what was his band called? Oh man, it's a badass name too, and he's known for it.
I just know it speaks softly, carry a big stick. That was his policy.
Teddy Roosevelt was a badass.
Teddy Roosevelt's responsible for the Panama Canal as well.
Yeah, but man, I think it was I can't remember what war it was, but he led a cavalry unit that he basically set up all by himself. Like, he established a cavalry unit, and like I don't know, I just remember reading, I don't remember what book it was, but he was consistently... His men would speak about him as always being the first one and leading the charge on horses, man. Like, he was always the one, and that's how people respect you too. You lead by example.
There's a difference between a boss and a leader.
If he's the first one saying we're gonna go.
Hey, no, but that's exactly right. As long as you are the one leading them. Well, no, there's a big difference between a general sending his army to walk off a cliff.
No,
and you actually leading them that
exactly.
way.
You were leading us off the cliff.
If you lead them off the cliff, I think you fucked up.
No, I think in both cases you're still wrong, but there's definitely more value to the man who actually decided to believe in his own idea enough to actually go firsthand and do it. Much less someone who believed in his idea, but not necessarily enough to actually go do it firsthand and just telling some people to go do it because that's the way I want it done. To me, that's the biggest difference between a leader of people and a boss, a dictator. A dictator is the man who's standing behind the slaves, pushing the rock up a hill and whipping them. The difference is the leader is the one who's standing in front of all of his people and carrying the rock up the hill.
This a perfect example that I've ever seen. I don't know if anybody's seen Kingdom of Heaven. It's an incredible movie. It has Orlando Bloom, but it's set in the Fourth Crusade.
A lot of leprosy in that movie, right?
Yes. It's set in the Fourth Crusade, and there's a point where the Christians have taken Jerusalem, and Saladin, if you know anything about the Crusades, this was Saladin's time, and he was going to take back the Jerusalem from the Christians. Now, it's not really historically accurate, but I think it plays perfectly into this, in that there's a scene where they're setting up Jerusalem, like he has a meeting with Saladin, and they come and they're both very respectful, and Saladin is known for being a very merciful and reasonable general, and he basically is like, listen, we're going to slaughter you all. So your options, and I will offer this to you, and I will respect my word, is you can all evacuate the city, and we will guarantee your safety back to the England and your respective countries, or you can stay, and you'll all die. That's your options. And he goes, you can leave now or die. And he's like, religiously, and what I was sent here to do by my country, I can't do that. So they stay. And so they start setting up Jerusalem in terms of defense. And they're out digging ditches to fill with pitch, which is like oil, so that they can shoot fire and basically create a ring of fire on the city. And so they're digging ditches. And there's a point where one of the workers, one of the soldiers who's digging the ditch is like falling back. And Orlando Bloom walks up and he's like, man, no, like, And he's like been walking around, not necessarily supervising, but just making sure everything is being done the way he deems fit, and what he thinks is necessary for their survival. And he comes up, and the man is like really struggling because it's the desert, you know. So he's like hot and like fucked up, and he's like, "Listen, we have to do this because you may think you're gonna die now, but if we don't get this done, you will die."
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't do any more. And he goes, okay. And he grabs the shovel and he jumps in. And as a general, you know, he's not expected to do any of this, but he jumps in the ditch and he takes off his shirt and he starts digging the ditch for the whole next 4 days. Because to him, I mean, he even talks about later with the woman that the
What's
romance,
more
obviously.
Getting it done or looking like
you're the man in charge. But the thing is, it shows the creation of massive respect and how after that point, everybody, because he's only like 23 or something in the movie, so he's super young and nobody had really respect for him. But he jumps in and starts just digging a ditch by himself, and he didn't have to do that. He could have had the man killed. Like, he could have had the man killed because somebody else, like, another, like, higher up in the army gets really pissed at him. Okay. He's like, what are you digging ditches for? We have more important shit. Okay. Like, what are you doing? And he goes, their lives are in my hands, and who am I to not be out there doing the work that I task them to do if I don't have the guts and brawn to do it myself, when they literally are telling me they can't anymore. It's an incredible movie. Man, it like gives me the chills watching it. Like, it's a great movie. But that just ties a whole long ass diatribe
There's a big difference between a boss and a leader.
Exactly.
I try and live every day of my life the same way.
Lead by example.
Like I tell every single person I've ever hired, I've been elbow deep in every single train in this building.
9 minutes of free time.
Free time?
So it's not actually at 56.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to say...
Well, I mean, we got about 9 minutes.
You mumbling it doesn't...
Yeah, just say it.
You have a camera on you.
Well,
like going like this.
I'm saying I'm about to piss my pants. Let's wrap this up.
That's fine. Just say that. But like, I was just trying to say, like, we got about 9 minutes of free time because of 9 minutes we got to cut out. Yeah. Sorry for watching the video. Again, this all.
Whoever's been watching, whatever 2 people have been watching
the whole time,
we would appreciate that shit.
Shout out to
y'all
you.
The people right there.
Feel free to use the chat box.
I would love to know who it is. I'm assuming it's Katie.
Barrett.
Cake.
Thank you, Miss Katie Lynn. You are a sweetheart, and I love you.
Let's go get burgers after this.
I just spent some odd dollars on groceries.
Yeah, like $70, which
I'll go 20 for burgers. I don't care about these 2.
All right, well, we're gonna do a 2-man podcast. I gotta go tame some dinosaurs. So
anyway, guys, we appreciate it. Join us in next week, next Monday at 7 p.m. Hopefully, we'll actually have it ready at 7 p.m. At the table. I'm Dalton.
I'm David.
I'm Caden.
And we'll see you next time.
And we love you guys.